East Asia, the early years, aka Unit 1. So first, all the dynasties. The Xia dynasty, XIA, from 2100 BCE to it's the first organized rulers of China. The Shang dynasty is from 1750 to 1150 BCE, and it has the first written language. The Zhou dynasty, ZHOU, is from 1046 to 256 BCE. It was the first golden age. The mandate of heaven was a just ruler's powers was bestowed by the gods. Don't know what that means. Probably means that, like, the power of the rulers was bestowed by gods. The natural disasters or invasions, signs that the ruler no longer had the god's favor, used concept to justify overthrowing governments. The Warring States period from 481 through 403 BCE through 221 BCE, the Xin state victorious established the first unified Chinese state. The Xin dynasty, 221 through 206 BCE, and set the foundations for the subsequent flourishing of imperial China. Legalism, philosopher Han Feiz, Feiz, circa 280 through 233 BCE. Philosophical belief, human beings are motivated entirely by self-interest, so society needed strict laws and punishment to control people. Han Dynasty, 206 BCE through 220 BCE. Influenced the East like Greece or Rome, influenced the West. Influenced the East like Greece or Rome, influenced the West. Confucianism was made the official state ideology. Ethnic Chinese refer to themselves as Hanren, or Han people. They opened the Silk Road to trade with the West, so China opened the Silk Road, or the Han people. Confucianism was founded by Gong Fuji. That's a lot of accents. K accented O that with a V over it. NG space F U with a line Z I with the weird V. It taught respect for social hierarchies and traditions instead of beliefs about any deity or God. So Confucianism taught respect for social hierarchies and beliefs about deities and gods. Taoism, also known as not social Taoism, that's later. Taoism is known as Taoism. Going with the flow and finding peace or harmony and happiness. So think modern day hippies, they just are there. The Sui dynasty, Sui, from 581 through 618 CE, it fell due to high taxes, which is very important because high taxes means bad government. It's first to build the Great Wall of China. Tang dynasty, Tang, 618 through 907 CE. Prosperity and stability, they fell due to invasion. Song dynasty, which is definitely one of the important ones, you want to remember that one. 960 CE through 1279 CE. They had wanted wealth and prosperity. Champa rice, which helped them because it fed the people because it was drought resistant and it could be harvested multiple times in a year. That helped people get food. And the more food they had, the more the population grew, which helped get them gain power. And they also I wrote gunpowder. I think I meant to write gunpowder. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Bureaucracy expanded means more government control. They needed education to pass civil service exams that were offered. Opportunity for lower classes, meritocracy, which allowed for upward mobility. People were hired for ability, not for social class. Comparing Japan, Korean, hello? comparing Japan, Korea, and Vietnam, benefited from being close to China. The challenge is in maintaining own culture. Sinification, spread of Chinese culture to non-Chinese people. Okay, no script here. So basically, China, they wanted to spread and consolidate their power by spreading their culture and beliefs and other things to areas near them. So areas near them were Japan, Korea, and Vietnam. And so through trade and merchants, their beliefs and culture would spread to them. Like Korea, they developed the civil service exam. They also spread like Buddhism and Hinduism in a lot of places, and Confucianism as well. Okay. Judaism has religious texts of the Torah and the Talmud. They don't subscribe to the idea that Jesus was the Messiah. So they celebrate different holidays like Hanukkah and Passover. Oldest monotheistic religion. In Christianity, the religious text is the Bible. It was created during the Common Era. Jesus is the founder and is considered the Son of God, and they believe in heaven. They're both monotheistic. They both believe that Jerusalem is the Holy Land. Both have a holy text. Both, I don't know what I wrote here. I wrote Abrahamic. So I don't know what that's supposed to mean. And they're both in the Middle East. The Dar al-Islam. The common religion of culture of these regions helped make this the world center of culture innovation. And next to it, I wrote, wow, shocked face, important. Okay, so I guess remember that. That is not something I need to write down. The homeland of Islam originated on the Arabian Peninsula in 600 CE. Yeah. Inhabited by nomadic Arabs equals the Bedouins, located along important trade routes. Bedouins, ancient tribe of people, nomadic, lots of wars, polytheistic. Mecca, major commercial city, site of the Kaaba, most important religious shrine in Arabia. Must know that. Ruling tribe of Mecca, the Hello? The Quray something H. House representations of about 360 deities. The messenger was Muhammad for Dar al-Islam from 570 through 632 CE. He is considered the prophet of Islam. They were troubled by religious corruption and social inequalities of Mecca. Believed he was Allah's messenger to the Arabs. The message, recorded in the Quran, the sacred scriptures of Islam. Monotheistic. Allah is the only God, which is their God. The 5 pillars of Islam, okay? It looks like I wrote pillows. It's funny. Anyway. Faith. There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is the messenger of God. Prayer should be performed 5 times daily while facing the direction of Mecca. Almsgiving, supporting the poor and needy of their community. Fasting occurs during the month of Ramadan. No food, drinks, or sexual relations from dawn until sundown. The Hajj, pilgrimage to Mecca. The concept of jihad. Jihad. Why did I write jihad there? Jihad. Jihad equals struggle. The greater jihad. Interior effort to avoid greed and selfishness and strive toward living a good, conscious life. Lesser jihad. Belief that the Quran authorizes armed struggle against the forces of unbelief and evil. The Islamic community. Muhammad equaled both religious and political leader. Also led the military. Islamic community expanded throughout Arabia. Divisions and controversies. First 4 caliphs after Muhammad. Caliph equals the political and religious leader of the Islamic community. Close companions of Muhammad. Chosen by Muslim elders of Medina. Division surfaced almost immediately. Sunnis versus Shiite Muslims. ruler equals rule over, king equals kingdom, emperor equals empire, caliph equals caliphate, czar equals czarism, khan equals khanate, shogun equals shogunate. The Sunnis and the Shiites. So the Sunnis, where the caliph is the rightful and political military leader of Islam. Caliph chosen by the Islamic community. Caliph can be any devout Muslim. Authority comes from the larger Islamic community. And then the Shiites. Islamic community leader must be a blood descendant relative. Authority, prayers, leaders called authority prayer leaders called imams. Imams equals only ones that can correctly interpret divine relations. And now a good way to remember the difference is that some Sunnis are like, where they back, they're cool, right? They're like, anyone can be anything. But then the Shiites, how I remember it is, they're little Shiites who only let certain people be there. They don't let people be what they want to be, right? Okay. Oh, wow. There's a lot more to go. Okay. Hang in there. The Abbasids replaced the weak and corrupt Umayyads. Golden Age of Learning. Preserved texts from Greek and Roman Empire. House of Wisdom. Problems. Tax collection. Sufism. Islamic groups in India and Persia adopted varied understandings of Islam. Sufis are more mystical. Okay, so Sufism was like fake. No, it wasn't fake, but like it was more made up. It was, like I said, mystical, right? It was cool. Well, not cool. Anyway, Mamluks and Seljuk Turks. Seljuk Turks, Muslims from Central Asia threatening the neighboring Byzantine Empire, bring about crusades. Islamic rule in Spain. Cordoba became capital and cultural center. Universities. African kingdoms and trade. The spread of Islam from 622 to 709 CE. Kingdoms connected through trade and the Hajj, whatever. African Swahili city-states, 800 through 1505 CE. Muslim traders came to the East African ports. Kingdom of Ghana, 400 through 1200 CE. First trade center. All caps. All traded iron and gold. Kingdom of Mali, 1250 through 1450 CE. Mansa Musa, 1312 through 1337. Muslim ruler, first to make the pilgrimage to Mecca. Timbuktu is center for learning and religious study. Mansa Musa was like super rich, guys. He like funded everything and he would go around and giving people money. That's how rich he was. Like no one in the world is as rich as he was back then today. Kingdom of Songhai takes over the Mali kingdom in 1000 through 1600 CE. Well, that's when they were. But they take over Mali kingdom and they utilized trade routes. They used trans-Saharan trade route. Great Zimbabwe from 1350 through 1450 CE. It was the major kingdom. Trade within they traded with Muslims. Okay. Developments in Europe. 1200 to 1450. Circa 1200 to circa 1450. Anyway, Greece 600 BCE through 146 CE. City-states Athens, Sparta. Democracy, oligarchy, and monarchy. Alexander the Great. Decline gives way to the Romans. The Roman Empire, 509 BCE through 476 CE. Two periods of Roman government. Roman Republic, 509 BCE through 30 BCE. The Roman Empire, Julius Caesar. Augustus Caesar, 30 BCE through 476 CE. Rome was technically an empire under the Roman Republic. Empire got split in half. Eastern stronger than Western. Early Middle Ages. Regional kingdoms. Visigoths, Spain. Franks, France. Lombards, Italy. The Anglos and Saxons, England. Okay, so next section is feudalism and manorialism. And both of those are like a hierarchy system of like how things are run, how things work. Like manorialism has to do more with like manners and living situations, and feudalism has to do with like more farming and land based. And the order of them from bottom to top, like worst to best, or not worst to best, but most power, least power to most power, is the peasants, knights, nobles, and kings. And they all offer something to each other. So the peasants offer the knights food and service. The knights offer nobles protection and military. The nobles offers kings money and knights. And then the king doesn't, Then the king offers land to the nobles. The nobles offer land to the knights. And the knights offer land and protection to the peasants. That was a feudal pyramid of power. Okay, think manorialism again. Dependent on free and coerced labor. The serfs versus the peasants. Three-field system. Okay. The bubonic plague, aka the Black Death, it increased the need for serfs because all the peasants died out from the bubonic plague, so they became more rare in a sense, and so people were like, oh no, we need people to work in our fields and to get us money. But there was less of them. So they were like, oh, well, now we need to find more. So they go and they find more. Yay. But they can't. Boo. But the peasants, they get better treatment because there needed more of them. And in feudalism, oh, wait, we're not in feudalism, we're in manorialism. Okay. Yeah. And so the Black Death leads to rise of social hierarchy for poor peasants. Yay! The three field system, was it effective? It kind of was. So the three field system was when the house had, I'm pretty sure is when the house had 3 fields, right? But then instead of the people working for the owners of the house, they worked for the land, and just whoever happened to own the land was in charge of them. But if the person who owns the land moves, they don't move with them. They stay with the land until the next owner comes. Christendom, Christian world. The Roman Catholic Church filled vacuum by Rome. Filled vacuum left by collapse of Rome's. Oh. Many pagans converted to Christianity. The Crusades were the Holy Wars. First reclaimed Jerusalem from Islam control. High Middle Ages, 11,000 through 1300. Western European, 11,000, 1100 through 1300. Western European royal monarchs began to gradually consolidate authority. France, King Philip, 1180 through 1223. Estates, general body to advise king. England, King John, 1166 through 1216 CE. Magna Carta, everyone subject to the law, even the king, guarantees the rights of individuals, the right to justice, and the right to a fair trial. House of Commons, House of Lords, first parliamentary system. Hundred Years' War, 1337 through 1453. France and England fought over land rights and other stuff. Christendom, education and arts. Church staff were the only people who read. Church and state, feudal system, Muslim and Jews, viewed as outsiders. Well, of course they'd be viewed as outsiders in Christendom. Christendom. Muslim and Jews, not Christians. Okay. Absolute must-knows, okay? Locked in, okay? The global tapestry in Europe, 1200 to 1450, is the end of medieval Europe, okay? If you get one thing from this period, focus on the feudal system, right? We talked about that. Europe is still backwards and dark age-ish. They will have global empires by the end of the next period. Trade with the rest of the world is limited. And this period has Mongol invasions, the Black Death, the Crusades, and the 100 Years' War. And then finally, this is just like a document thing. So Incas and the Aztecs. They were like, during this time, they were the American, heavy quotations. Well, kind of, no. They were the American empires, right? And a lot of their thing, whoa. What just happened with my AirPod? It just like popped. Anyway, so the Aztecs, yeah. So I was really bad at writing notes. Tell me why I wrote they gardened. Hello? This is a spice tea chart. Anyway, so both of them, well, especially the Aztecs. The Aztecs had like festivals and sacrifices for culture, and they had special games, and they had gardens. Apparently, they had these these floating gardens or something. There were gardens that would help them grow stuff. They also terraced land for farming. Yeah, they they communicated. Why did I write this stuff? I was really bad at taking notes. Yeah, so if you don't understand Aztecs and Incas, just know that the Aztecs killed a lot of people. They were sacrificing them. They sacrificed children, they sacrificed women, they sacrificed men, they sacrificed everyone for hopes to get rain and water and to be blessed, because maybe if we sacrifice people, we'll get things in return. Well, guess what? You didn't. That's the end of Unit 1. Bye.